Hello, I'm John McAllister with the John McAllister Report, video podcast that covers all kinds of sports, mostly football, coaches and players, uh, guests involved with football, and just a lot of things. Today, going into football, going down to the City League in Columbus, and talking with Stephen Ayers, new head football coach at Columbus Beechcroft High School on the northern side, and plays in the City League, first year, but he's been around sports almost his whole life. He played at Brookhaven, played at Bowling Green, and then he got into coaching. He's the head track coach at Walnut Ridge. He's the head wrestling coach at Walnut Ridge, and he just really enjoys working with kids. I liked the interview. Very informative. Stephen comes through as a very kids-minded coach. And of course, he coaches 3 sports. But really enjoyed talking with him. So if you'd sit back and enjoy my podcast with Stephen Ayers, the head football coach at Columbus Beechcroft High School. Okay, my guest today is new head football coach at Columbus Beechcroft High School in the northern part of Columbus, as I remember. Been there a few times. Coach Stephen Ayers, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day, and the football season is right around the corner for us.
And you're keeping busy. You told me you had picture day.
Yeah, we got picture day today. You got a scrimmage tomorrow, so just getting ready for week 1.
Good. How many kids do you have out right now?
We're about 40, 45 kids.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's really good. That's good. And then keep them out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I said it, I talked to you off the air and said, I remember from your Columbus Beechcroft high school football days.
Brookhaven.
I'm sorry.
Brookhaven. Yeah. Beechcroft was our rival.
Oh, I'm thinking, yeah, I know it was.
Yeah.
I remember you when you played at Brookhaven. And honestly, I went there every fall because you always had players.
Yeah.
You were in a good group of players.
Oh, for sure.
You had excellent coaching.
Yes.
And Coach Miller was the coach, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Miller.
Yes.
And one time I'm standing on the sidelines too close, and he looked down at me and said, "You want to call a couple plays?" I slept. And you also mentioned to me earlier Marv Whiting.
Yes.
Marv Whiting had to be, I've done this a long, long time, one of the most knowledgeable, great inner city coaches in Columbus.
Yes, he was. He was the godfather of Brookhaven. He was a father to a lot of us. And that's the reason, probably between Coach Miller and Coach Whiting, the main reason why I'm in this profession of coaching and helping out kids.
Coach Whiting, and I remember him, obviously, but he was one of those guys when I watched him, when he spoke, you just listened to him.
Yes.
You just listened to him because he just knew. And plus, he just had that character manner about it and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't like those long walks to the field, though. Brookhaven. And, I was really close. The bleachers were right on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get to some other stuff. Let's talk about Beechcroft. How does it look? How does it look this coming season? What do you? I mean, I know you're going to try to win every game and things like that, but how does it look overall? What's the overall feeling you have?
First of all, they've welcomed me with open arms coming on, which has been real appreciative from administration staff, from the parents, and even the kids have taken me real well. Our goal is to take it one day at a time, and it's changing of the guard, changing of the culture, it's the main thing for us, and just teaching these kids, football and getting them over the hump. Beechcroft has always been a school with tremendous athletes, great scholar athletes. Then I just felt like they felt short these last couple of years. So my goal is for myself and my coaching staff is to get these kids over the hump. Because I feel like they've been short at these last couple of years, and we just get back to where I know where Beechcroft has been in the past.
Yeah. Tell me about culture. It's so important.
Yeah.
Whether you're Ohio State, Findlay, whatever, Bowling Green, culture, high school level culture. Do you have any ideas that you can talk about as far as how are you establishing the culture? Winning helps, but
yeah,
you almost have to have the culture before you can win.
Yes, you really do. I do a lot of goal setting. I really talk real with the kids. I tell them I'm not gonna BS you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Whether if you like it or not. But I try to tell them where we're at and where we need to be. And we try to create a culture to where kids that want to be here at the school, that want to be in practice. We make it fun. We tell them it's not work. This is fun. Football's fun.
Right.
This is what you want to do, and we try to make it fun for them, make it entertaining for them, but at the same time teaching them the game and getting the most out of them, each and every day.
Discipline structure, I always called it.
Yes.
Structure, not discipline. Even when I taught school, I used to have the word structure on the board, and finally, after a while, kids understood.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of structure discipline are you facing then, Steve?
I'm very time oriented. Coming from I played my college football at Bowling Green. They said if you're on time, you're late. We was always 5 minutes. If the meeting started at 6 o'clock, you was there at 5:55. So everything that we do is time oriented. And I try to teach the guys, hey, we got to be here on time with everything is structured, because I'm one of them coaches. I'm not trying to be here, late at night. So if practices are structured, the coach, then the kids see that, okay, we need to be more structured in what we do, because you don't have to run 100 plays. If you got 10 good plays, you run those 10 plays. If you're efficient with them, hey, you can be in and out, and do things the right way. Like Coach Miller used to say, do things right the first time.
Yeah.
I've kind of taken on that model. If we do things right the first time, then we can move on and we can work on other things that we need to work on.
Yeah, I know you were a really good athlete. I remember, and I will say this: give some encouragement here. Throw a bone to the guys that are 5'8", 175 in high school, because you went to Bowling Green.
Yes.
Play ball.
Mm-hmm.
Your son Michael went to Ashland.
Yes.
But he was, that all worked out really, really well. But
yeah, it did.
And that's just for him. I think he could have played higher, but I don't know if he should have, because I was just at Ashland. The mistake a lot of people make on Division II schools, you have Ohio Dominican down there, but pro coaches come through there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of like rinky-dink football.
Right.
And I think that's what Michael knows. He's playing in the Canadian League right now, isn't he?
Yes, he's playing for Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Okay.
So yeah, he's having a great time down there. He's mainly playing special teams. At one point in time, he was like tied for first in special teams tackles. Halfway through the season. So it's Division II, Division I. It's just my main advice was just go out there and give it your all every play. Yeah. Me coming out of high school, I wasn't the biggest. I was, I had speed, but my main thing was I was a head knocker. I was gonna knock your head off. You weren't going. I wasn't the biggest guy, but I was gonna hit like I was 230 pounds. And I think that's the reason why that got me over the edge.
Yeah, and that you can instill in your players now.
Yes, I try to.
It's really good. I just have so much respect for. I don't know if I'm supposed to call inner city or not. I guess I'm a racist if I call it. Doggone well I'm not.
I know.
But anyway, I just think it's gotten better in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Inner city football, whether it be Cleveland, Toledo, which Dayton, and I've been to all those places in your place. And I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed here is that coaches are coming back to the community and giving back. Coaches that were good players, went to college, played some ball, or just got a degree, but they know how to work with kids.
Yeah.
And no matter what anybody says, you got to know how to work with inner city kids. You got to know how to work with rich kids, farm kids. You have to know the culture, whether you go, that's just the way it is. And
Yes.
I think with you guys all coming back, the Pepper, Johnson's down there and coaching. I think his name is, that's not right. Shoot. Anyway, he played a fullback at Ohio State.
Yeah, he was at Eastmore.
Yeah. Okay. You got Eastmore guys. You got guys all over that have played ball.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but best they know how to do kids.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a 3-minute preach here. But when I first started the business, you had a good staff at Brookhaven, though.
Oh, exceptional staff. Yeah, our coaching
I'm not going to mention any schools, but the guys, and even as good as Bookdale is in Akron, they'd have 10 coaches lined up, and 7 of them were neighbors, and all they would do is grab the kid and say, "Hey, you dumb A, you missed your block." And then, go back. He never said, "This is why you missed your block." Mm-hmm. And I think it's so important. End of my sermon. But I think it's so important that young African Americans, well, you're 50-something, so it's different. I'm kidding. Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
But just give back to the community.
Yeah. I think we do have some tremendous coaches in the city. You look at our Brookhaven coaching tree with myself. You got Coach Thornton at Mifflin. You got Jamel Davis at Afrocentric. He's doing a tremendous job over there. You got Travis Clodfelder. He's at Eastmore. I mean, our Brookhaven coaching tree is all over the place.
Yeah.
And some of the other coaches, Coach Sayers at Northland. You got Coach Bell at East. It's just, a lot of guys who come up through the city who are also coaches, because we can relate with these kids. Right. I see a lot of myself in these kids, because a lot of these kids, maybe single parent homes, that's a lot of us, how we grew up also, so, we can relate with these kids a lot. And I think that helps us out.
That is so true. Okay. Let's talk about a couple other things and I'll let you go. Okay. You are also the head wrestling coach.
Yes.
And you are also the head track coach. Boys and girls, or just the boys?
Boys wrestling. I'm the boys track coach, but I got great assistants around me that we work together.
And wrestling coach. So
yes.
And you won the city last year in track.
Yes.
So you are a coachaholic. Okay.
Yeah.
Coachaholic. What drives you to do that? What, 3 sports, head coach, successful. What drives you? Maybe we've talked about it, but what drives you to do that, coach?
I love the grind. I love the process. And also, right now, these kids need to stay involved. We've always said that more kids that are involved, that keeps them out of trouble. It keeps their grades up, and just to, you look at the kids at the next level, you play in the college, it's year round, it's a year round process. So getting kids acclimated to, football, going to wrestling or basketball, running track, I think that helps them out being multi-sport athletes. Then when they do go into the next level, it's not a big obstacle for them to adjust.
For sure. And also, and not in an illegal way, but it helps your recruiting a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody recruits. I know that, especially in the Columbus area. Those coaches, I read about, they had something in the Dispatch a couple of days ago about their transfers. There was a whole list of them.
I know. It's crazy.
If you're good enough, they'll find you.
Yeah, they'll find you. The Program sell itself.
Yeah, and if your coach, your coach is good enough, your high school coach, he'll help you and they'll find you. And
Of course.
I really, really believe that. Okay, let's talk about. You made a statement here on someplace I read that you were a Michigan fan. Did you really say that? Now wait a minute. Wait, you don't know if I'm an Ohio State fan or not.
Yeah.
Huh? So
Yeah.
are you still a Michigan fan?
I'm still a Michigan fan because it was the same colors. It was almost the same colors as Brookhaven.
Yeah.
And it's just, I really didn't get the opportunity to play for Ohio State. A lot of my teammates did coming out of high school. So it's not like animosity, but I just something about the maize and blue and the blue and gold. Brookhaven and Michigan. Something about them colors.
Of course, I'm joking with you.
Yeah, I know.
How do you push, Steve? How do you push academics with these guys, with your players? What do you do to encourage them?
Just talk real life situations with them. You always ask them, when you graduate, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What's your end game? Because this, at some point in time, you got to be a productive citizen. Do you want to live on your own? Do you want to have your own car? Do you have your own place? How are you going to do that? So, football or, athletics, they only last for so long, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to be a productive citizen, some out here and get back to society. So just having those real conversations with kids, and setting, like I said, setting goals for them and having a plan for them later on in life.
Okay, that's really good. I have just a couple more questions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, what do you think is there? And because you coach on everything, so you've got athletes all over the place.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for high school athletes today, regardless of the city, country, suburbs? What's the biggest challenge that athletes, boy, girl, have today?
The distractions. When I was coming up, I was older. We didn't have all these distractions of social media or a lot of video games. It's the distractions that these kids have, things that take them away from their grind or the process of them getting better. So I think that's the biggest challenge right now.
Sure.
Because we didn't have that growing up. So now I see that a lot. Kids, when they rather be out in the streets or they rather do other things rather than hey, you got your whole life to work. Playing, being in extracurricular activities that only comes around once in a while. You're only in high school once. Right, so after it's over, then you hit real life. So I was telling me enjoy it now, because when it's over, it's over. And I've just missed so many times where I've had players come up to me and say, you're right. I regret not playing or not participating, or they say thank you for keeping me in the game because it taught me a lot in life. Which has helped me out. In raising my own kids or raising my own family. Yeah.
Now, I had a small college coach here in Ohio tell me he had 11 football players stay up here from the summer from Florida.
Okay.
And I said, really? He goes, yeah. I said, he's not lying. He said, those guys don't want to go home.
Right.
Because they know they're going to, I'm not saying Columbus will have, but that's the same thing. He said they don't want to go home because trouble. They'll get trouble to get back to their buddies. He said, now they work up here and they love it up here. Now he said they'll probably go back when they're done. But he said, you don't know. But he said they don't want to go. Isn't that a sad situation?
I mean, it's not sad. It's those guys are focused,
That's what, no, I don't mean sad. It's sad they have to think that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're focused.
Right. I always say, doctors hang out with doctors, lawyers hang out with lawyers, student athletes should hang out with student athletes, because you want to hang around with people who think alike, who have the same goals and have the same aspirations as yourself.
Yeah. That's so good. Okay. I love asking you these questions. Okay. What do you think? What's your idea of a very good football player? What does it take to be a really good football player? Or just football?
Just football.
Yeah.
A player that is disciplined. I preach that a lot. Being disciplined.
What's
You
discipline
know,
mean,
do,
Steve?
coming to practice on time. Being
Okay.
prepared. Film study. Give. Prepare. Prepare in practice. Doing things behind the scenes, not just when you're supposed to do it, just doing things behind the scenes. Because you can't be great if you're just doing it when you're supposed to do it. You got to do things during your off season or during your free time just to be great. Doing the little things right, because if everybody sees the big things, but if it's the little things that will get you over the edge. Doing the little things will separate you from a person um, if that's doing the same as you.
How important is a high school player's image? How he appears? How important is that? How?
Um, uh, Nowadays, it is important, with the social media, what guys put
Yeah.
on their Twitter and their Facebook or Instagram. But that's what college coaches are looking for now. They want to see what type of person you are.
Yeah.
But it's the showing your true colors, um, putting yourself in difficult situations so that you're vulnerable sometimes can help with your character, help volunteering for things, helping out others can
Yeah.
help players images also because it's so I say college coaches are lazy now because back in the day you had to exchange tape, you had to get the VHS tapes, so now coaches they just go on a computer and just click look stuff up.
Yeah.
Back in the day they had to come see you in the school. you know Now kids are going out visited them, then if they really want you then they come see you. So having a positive image for yourself
Yeah.
to get recruited is very, very important.
That's okay. My last question. I promise you, this is. I really love. This is a great interview.
But I love it.
I hopefully. Okay. My last question. What's the best piece of advice that you ever got from a coach? Or can you, or something was said, whether it's to your face in a clinic or what? What's the best piece of advice you ever got?
Never be satisfied.
Okay.
I will never ever be satisfied. Even though some people say, "Yo, you're this, you're that," I'm not satisfied because I always feel like I can always do more. I can always do better. Because yeah, yeah, we won a city in track, but you know what? I want to win more.
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied with just winning one. I'm not satisfied with just winning one game. I want to win them all. Just having that drive, that hunger each and every day when I wake up. When I come to practice. It's just I want more.
Coach, I don't know. You coach sports, head coach. You're the dog. You must have something inside that. Okay. Now, what's question B?
Uh-huh.
What's the best piece of advice that you can give to a coach?
I can give to a coach.
Yeah. Same thing, but let's go something else. What would be?
Same thing. Be a master at your craft.
Yeah.
Be a master. You always look for new information. Always learn. You may not use it, but always you take what's available for you. As a new coach, and learn how to build those relationships with kids, parents, administration, and just have a love for the game.
Yeah.
Because you just never know when it's going to be taken away from you.
Yeah.
So treat every day like it's your last.
That's good. Yeah. Be careful. You're talking to a 76-year-old guy. Okay.
And you're still doing what you love to do.
Yeah. But building relationships is so important.
Yes, it is.
How would I ever gotten where I did I built relationships and trust.
Yes.
We haven't talked about trust, but it's the other thing those kids, I don't want to talk about myself, but kids know they can trust me. I remember Harrison that played
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, Malik played quarterback for us and out some outside linebacker.
Yeah. Coach, thank you very much for this interview.
Well,
Really
thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.